Most deaths in the US are preventable, and they're related to what we eat. Our diet is the #1 cause of disability and premature death, and yet only a quarter of medical schools offer a single course in nutrition. Americans today are living longer than a generation ago, but we're actually living fewer healthy years now than we once did. And perhaps the reason illness tends to run in the family is because diet tends to run in the family. As I learned all of this by reading Dr. Michael Greger's book, How Not to Die, I couldn't help but wonder if my recent tiredness, irritability, brain fog, and mood swings have anything to do with what I eat. As I've been consuming excess amounts of dairy and sugar, skipped meals and squirted some ketchup on top of some spaghetti and called it a day way too often. It's the worst my diet's been in years. So, I decided to completely switch up my eating habits and hence my lifestyle for 1 week to see what may or may not happen. A short-term experiment indeed, yet the results shocked me. In How Not to Die, Greger recommends a whole food plant-based diet, a framework he refers to as the Daily Dozen, which I'll be using as a guideline this week. Is an eating pattern that minimizes the intake of meat, eggs, dairy, and processed junk, and maximizes consumption of whole food plants. I'm already meat-free, but as someone who's made a habit out of nightly cheese boards and chocolate pastries, avoiding dairy and processed sugar is really going to put my self-control to the test. Alright, meal number 1, here we go. It's going to be a quick one. I'm going to make a salad because I am in a rush and some ingredients were unfortunately missing from the order. So I'm gonna have to go to the grocery store anyway to get those things, but the salad is going to be tomatoes, carrots, kale, beets, avocado, a dressing, and some seeds, and we'll see what else I throw in there. It's gonna be quick, but quick does not always mean bad. And that in itself is a challenge too, being able to throw together a quick, healthy, filling meal when time is limited. Alright you guys, we have come to the part that I'm pretty sure I am most excited about out of all the recipes that I've collected for this week, and it is a healthy carrot cake. Now when it comes to sweets, I am more of a chocolate person, but I don't know, for some reason carrot cake does have a special place in my heart, and I'm very excited to make it. I hope I love it. If I do, it's going to be something that I can make whenever I'm feeling like having something sweet. It does take quite a bit of time to make, but hey, if it's good, it's definitely gonna be worth it. So let's get started. Mjöl! 3,5 deciliter mjöl. Inte mjölk. Herregud. Jaha. Okay, so I just reread the recipe and it says coconut flour. I thought it said coconut milk. So I'm gonna have to use regular flour. Alright, doing super quick taste test before I leave. I am in mega rush right now. I don't even have any clean spoons, but that's life. This is not done yet. It's been in the fridge for about half an hour. It should be an hour. Alright. I don't like it. I think I'm too much honey. Alright. Not a success. It's part of life. For this week, I decided to go for organic, seasonal, locally sourced ingredients as much as I could. Seasonal food is fresher, tastier, better for the environment, and more nutritious than food consumed out of season. It's also typically easier on your wallet. In Sweden, some produce that is currently in season are cauliflower, carrots, beets, Brussels sprouts, and apples. So I'll be basing most recipes that I've found online on those ingredients. And at the end of the week, I will let you know exactly how much it cost me to eat this way and compare it to a normal week in my life. So I figured I should probably tell you what it is that I'm making. So I'm making I believe it's more of a side dish. It's called Kung Pao Brussels sprouts. And there's going to be some peanuts, there's going to be soy sauce, and I feel like it's going to be a side dish or a dish that is right up my alley. Alright, so this dish was a total success. So yummy. All the flavors are there. 10 out of 10 would recommend making this. I'm definitely gonna be making this more times. So good. So good. And healthy. Alright, so this is day 3 of healthy eating. And it's nighttime, it's 7:19, and I'm officially craving chocolate a lot. I was contemplating making a chocolate cake. I don't have the ingredients for making a healthy chocolate cake, making like a sugar-free version or one that does not have refined white sugar, which is what I'm trying to avoid this week. So I don't know, I need to find something sweet to help me with this craving right now. What is it? Wow. Alright, good morning guys, it's a new day. I have not been sleeping great at all. And the nights before that, I've been sleeping pretty good compared to how I normally sleep. And last night, I was not eating well, so is my sleep related to what I was eating last night? I don't know. Is it a coincidence? Who knows? Anyways, it's a new day, I feel refreshed, and we are making oatmeal. It's one of my favorite breakfasts, but I'm going to make it a bit more exciting and fun and healthy than I normally do. I'm going to throw in a bunch of seeds, berries, and just make it a oatmeal party. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. The bell will stop. This one actually has no battery. I'm just gonna pretend that there's music on right now to put you guys in the mood.
Merry Christmas.
Alright you guys, this week is coming to an end and it's time to make the final meal of this week, which is a chili. It's one of my favorites. I've made it 2 times in the past and it's packed with beans and lentils and grains and all the good things that we are looking for in a meal right now. So good. Alright you guys, this week has come to an end and it's time to share my final thoughts, starting with, however, the cost of living for this week. So this week cost me 1,375 krona. Had I bought everything non-organic, it would have cost me 1,209 Swedish krona. A normal week in my life cost about 800 Swedish krona. However, Worth mentioning that since I was trying a bunch of new recipes, I had to get a lot of things that I would typically never buy. A normal week in my life, I already have all the basic ingredients that I typically need, so that might also explain why a typical week in my life is quite significantly cheaper than what I paid for this week in my life. As for my thoughts, let's start with the positives. So when you cook for yourself from scratch, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about what you like, what you don't like, what you want to continue making, and what is not right for you. So I've had a ton of fun exploring my taste buds. Cooking with intention is fun and meditative. It's not even comparable to when you cook just throwing something together to make your stomach stop making funny noises. That was a weird grammatical sentence. As opposed to when you're actually picking out ingredients carefully, you are taking your time and you are creating a dish with meaning. You can't always do that because life happens, but when you have the chance, I think it's superior to just throwing a dish together. Having eaten this way for a week now, how do I feel physically and mentally? My body and my mind feel lighter. I can't say that I experienced a significant change in my entire being, but I 100% notice myself feeling more focused, more energized, more motivated, and I feel like my overall mood feels more stabilized. I don't feel as irritable. And it's only been 1 week, right? So having already experienced quite a lot of benefits, maybe not super intensely, but at least somehow or somewhat, is quite impressive. The negatives, using the term negatives loosely here. It's time consuming. Throwing together some spaghetti and squirting some ketchup on top of it takes no longer than 15 minutes. Whereas standing in the kitchen this week, I think I averaged about each dish taking me 35 to an hour and a half, somewhere in that time range, which is a lot more time. However, when I throw together something that is not very nutritious, I end up feeling tired, and so I end up not being as productive and active throughout the day. Whereas if I fuel my body with what it actually needs, I feel more energized and I'm able to be more productive and active throughout the day. It can be restrictive. Saying no to things that I would normally not care about and just, eat as if there was no tomorrow was different. However, like with everything in life, we need to choose. I think balance is always important in everything that we do in life, and we need to find something that feels right and feels good for us. But I do also know that my body and my mind thank me when I take care of it. And after everything it does for me, every single day, I feel like that's the least I can do.